Welcome to Nerd Talk, the podcast that talks about comics and everything in between. Now, here are your hosts, Dylan and Ian.
What's up, everybody? I am Dylan, and the other voice we'll be hearing is Ian, and welcome to Nerd Talk. So, today we've got a lot of news, a lot of different stuff was said, and I think the first most interesting thing we'll talk about is, well, I don't know about the most interesting, but something that's very interesting is Jason Bourne versus Batman, because Matt Damon said that Jason Bourne would kick the crap out of Batman, and of course Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are, best buds and everything, and since they're playing the characters that would be fighting, we're going to go down the list, because we can't necessarily say if Jason Bourne would beat the Ben Affleck Batman, considering the fact that Ben Affleck, we haven't seen him yet, and Ben Affleck is also about 5 times bigger than Matt Damon. Batman, he's huge.
He did not clarify whether it be a fist fight or just a fight. So, but Jason Bourne uses his environment a lot with guns and stuff. So he never clarified whether it'd be a fist fight.
Well, he says Batman's got to take on Superman first. If he could beat him, then maybe he could take on Jason Bourne. The thing is, we don't know who'd win that fight. We haven't seen Ben Affleck. I would probably go for the Ben Affleck Batman because he's way bigger than Jason Bourne.
There's no way.
Matt Damon's never been the shape Ben Affleck is.
Because and
he's Batman.
Jason Bourne would beat the crap out of...
Hold on. We're going to go down the list of all the other Batmans.
Okay.
Starting off with Adam West Batman.
He beat the crap out of him. He probably had Jason Bourne repellent.
I couldn't watch that fight because he'd just shoot him in the face and it'd be over. Batman would be dead in my childhood and everything would be dead. That just I couldn't watch that fight. It'd be so devastating. Yeah, Jason Bourne would kick the absolute crap out of Adam West Batman unless he did a sweet judo flip or something.
He might have Jason Bourne repellent.
He could have anti-spy repellent or something.
And then just neither one of them wins.
But with Batman, you gotta take on Robin too. So Batman versus Batman and Robin.
That would be sad to watch.
He would just kill both of them immediately. That wouldn't go well. Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton's a murderer and is insane. I don't know who would win that one.
I think it all depends on the environment and the prep they have.
Yeah.
Because Michael Keaton has no quarrels with killing.
Say they're in a kitchen and they meet. I feel like Michael Keaton would shove Jason Bourne in the oven and then turn the oven on.
Yeah.
I think Michael Keaton...
I think Jason Bourne would probably get out of the oven and shove him in the oven.
Jason
constantly them shoving each other in the oven.
Matt Damon is clearly the physical superior to Michael Keaton's Batman.
Yeah,
he wasn't in shape at all. He had a sweet perm, though.
Michael Keaton probably has a gun on his belt. He just hasn't used it yet.
Yeah, he could that wouldn't go so well. If they're on a rooftop, I'm giving it to Michael Keaton. If they're in a kitchen, I don't know. I think I'd give it to Jason Bourne in the kitchen. Cause the thing is, it depends if he could beat Michael Keaton, because Michael Keaton Batman is crazy. I mean, he's just insane. So, I think on a rooftop, I'd give it to him, because he would immediately throw Jason Bourne off the rooftop, and he wouldn't do anything. And in a kitchen, I think I'd have to give it to Jason Bourne. I feel like he would take his head and shove it into a cabinet.
Yeah, but
and stab him with a knife.
Yeah, Mike Keaton would probably grab a knife too and shove it in.
True, that's the thing. You think they'd kill each other? It'd be a draw?
They probably would.
Yeah, it's a draw in the kitchen on a rooftop. I'm giving it to Keaton, though.
Okay. I don't know. I think it's a draw all the way around with those two.
Alright, next, Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer wasn't as crazy, but he did kill. He could have easily saved Two-Face, but instead he threw all the coins and killed him. He elected to kill him when he could have easily been like, hey, I got your coin right here. Instead, he just makes...
I don't even remember Val Kilmer's Batman that much, so...
I think Matt Damon would kill him in about 2 seconds.
Okay, what about George Clooney?
George Clooney, well, he's got those really awesome ice skates, or they were I don't know. I think Matt Damon would win that one too.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we've got the most interesting with the Bale Batman. Where would they fight there? A parking garage?
Batman gets butt kicked.
Yeah, because Bale Batman...
He's too slow.
He never really did it.
He
never really went against anyone that was that physical. But hold on, this is what's going to happen. If Matt Damon doesn't kill him, Bruce is going to go do a couple push-ups and pull-ups in the prison, and then he'll immediately beat him. Just like Bane. I still can't get over that. Bane just absolutely kicks his butt. Then he goes and he's Hold on. He He had the Batcave and all those millions of dollars worth of crap that he had to train with. But you know the best training method?
Well, it really is push-ups, but you wouldn't get that big off push-ups. You just get really defined off push-ups.
The best training method is just going to a prison, doing push-ups and pull-ups and climbing up a wall.
I just want to say about I know we're going off topic a little bit here, but the Dark Knight Rises, not one other person ever thought maybe I'll jump without the rope. Maybe the rope holds me back. Like not one person was like
the rope would hold you back that much though.
I mean, it is a little mental block. I mean, I can see it. I mean, that is a good point because it's been proven that, like, science, your mind, like, knows. But my point is, like, not one guy was like, my life sucks so bad, it doesn't really matter if I fall. I'm just going to try it without the rope, you know?
True.
Like, all those dudes were huge. It wasn't like they were bad free climbers. Like, they all had time to...
Maybe that was the problem. They got too muscly from all those push-ups.
Well, you don't get muscly from push-ups. You get really defined.
Well, not Christian Bale. He got huge.
How'd they get fed, too? Did someone just, like an airdrop just randomly come in and just, like, boom?
I don't know. Like, they could treat people
and
with broken backs.
not one person ever found that pit, like, that was not supposed to fight. Like, when
hey, this is the Marvel bashing DC podcast, not the other way around.
Oh,
okay?
my bad. And I love the Nolan movies.
I mean, this is, we're
supposed
to be bashing Marvel.
Dylan doesn't like Dark Knight Rises very much. I love Dark Knight Rises, but there are a lot of convenient plot holes in the film. Like, he gets out, and there's no, like, you think you'd have someone guarding, like, the most damned prison on Earth, right?
Well,
and not one person is guarding it.
He lets the rope out, not even knowing what those guys are convicted of.
Like, you just think a bunch of girls go by and are like, or, excuse me, that's sexist. A bunch of people go by and are like, oh, look, it's just a giant well. We'll get water later. I mean, it's just too much. And then Batman lets out how many convicted murderers and rapists onto the scene. That would have been sick if Batman got all those guys to come back with him to Gotham and fight. That would have been pretty cool.
Then they rape and kill everyone in Gotham.
They rape the bad guys. Is it really rape?
Yes.
Damn it.
Rape just means, like, unconsenting sex, so unless those guys were liking it, it's rape.
They were all in prison. This podcast really got to PG-13 really
So,
fast.
how do you think the fight would go? They're in a parking garage.
Batman versus Christian Bale's?
Yes. I think Bourne would have him. It wouldn't be...
Which Batsuit? Because he got more nimble each Batsuit. If it's the first Batsuit, he has no chance. If it's the second Batsuit...
Well, like, the Begins Batsuit looked more nimble than the one he had in the beginning of Dark Knight. It seemed different than the Begins Batsuit.
Is it just them?
We're going with the upgraded Dark Knight suit.
Okay, is it just him with no vehicles and just his utility belt? Because he doesn't really have...
We'll do two fights. We'll do one chasing since Bourne's great at those chases.
Okay, Batman wins that because he just blows his... Well...
Yeah, well, he's not... He doesn't kill. He's fine. He would have Catwoman...
And all the Batmans, he does kill, or he doesn't kill, he just doesn't stop you from dying. But
I'm not gonna kill.
He's better than all the other ones.
So you're saying he, like, puts the Batmobile in drive and jumps out?
Pretty much, yeah. He's like, I ain't kill him! And just hit him!
So, yeah.
I mean, like, Two-Face. Like, Batman, that's what I like about Christopher Nolan's Batman. Even though he didn't, quote-unquote, kill, he made the choices, and he knew someone was
he killed Two-Face. He straight up killed him.
Yeah, but
There's no denying that.
But it's justified. I'm not saying...
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying he murdered him.
I'm not like the Batman hardcore fanboys are like, oh, he didn't kill him. No, he killed him, but I like that he made the choice to kill him. It's like Superman and Man of Steel. I like the choice he made.
Well, yeah, because in the comics he'll be put with that choice, but then he'll have some special batarang. Oh no, he doesn't have to kill him. It's like, that's way too convenient. But there, he actually had to kill him. I like that.
This is a gun.
But Bale versus Bourne in a hand-to-hand fight.
Because Bourne's more nimble and faster. Although Batman might catch him with a batarang in the face. And Bourne doesn't die. Bourne just is terminally, like, paralyzed. So, I mean...
I think that'd be an awesome fight to see, but Bourne would win. I think Bourne's the better fighter.
I don't think Batman... I think Ben Affleck's Batman will beat...
Oh, no question.
Because you saw him in that... Just for those few seconds, you saw how fast he was.
Oh, yeah, he looked like comic book Batman. So, he kicked the crap out of Bourne.
Yeah, Bourne don't have a chance. But I love Jason Bourne. I can't wait for the new Bourne movie.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. But, well, hopefully. But, yeah, Bourne would beat Bale Batman. So, yeah, that's the final thing for our thoughts on... Bourne versus Batman. Next up, we got Simon Kinberg, who's the Kevin Feige of Fox.
Better. I like Simon Kinberg. So I like Simon a lot better than
Kevin Feige.
Because the X-Men movies have so much of a better feel than the Marvel movies, in my opinion.
Alright, so anyway, Simon Kinberg said he saw a rough cut of the Deadpool movie. He said it's great. It gives us everything we were promised in the trailer. And he said that they're already thinking about sequels, but they don't know anything yet. And yeah.
My issue with this is The only one movie I've ever heard that they watched and they said that sucks, and that was Jupiter Ascending. That's the only movie I've ever heard a studio watch and be like, "Oh crap, we really screwed the pooch on this one." X-Men Origins Wolverine. Everyone was like, "It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be everything you want in a Wolverine movie."
Did the producers really say that?
The producer said it. Hugh Jackman said it. Green Lantern. All this stuff. And it's like, I mean, I know a studio has to do it because they have to hype. I mean, it'd be pretty bad. The producer was like, "Damn, this movie's gonna suck, guys. I want to see if I were you." I understand that, but you gotta take it with a grain of salt. I personally think Deadpool's gonna be the best movie next year, but I can't trust a producer saying it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't. You can't. It's like trusting the guy selling you a car. He ain't gonna tell you how bad the car is and then expect you to buy it.
But I believe him on this one. I think it's gonna be great. I'm really.
But I mean, even if the movie was total crap,
yes, I agree with that you there, but I don't think this is gonna be total crap.
I don't know, but I do like Simon. He's really good.
It's Kinberg.
That's Kinberg. I like him. I do like the way the tone of the movie is. I'm really hoping this movie kills it, because if it does, I think they're gonna let Wolverine go R.
Well, no, because by the time this movie comes out, they'll already be filming Wolverine.
No, when they said they're starting filming.
The movie comes out in 2017.
Yeah, but Wolverine's not near.
This comes out next year.
Yeah, but Wolverine's not near as effects heavy as other things.
Yeah, but it depends on who they want to put in it and
yeah,
how they're
look,
doing
Jobs filmed this year, and they're already releasing it this
That's Jobs. That requires literally no CGI. At all. Wolverine's way different than Steve Jobs.
All I'm saying is...
I think they're going to be too far into filming to be like, hey, now we can change the script and everything to match R rating.
I'm going to look that up right now while we're doing this. Right now.
You do that, but because you gotta think before even shooting, they have to have a script and all that crap.
Well, I never heard him say the script was turned in yet, so.
I don't think this will change whether Wolverine's R or not, because it's not gonna be like, oh, they're partway through filming, we can make it R now. Let's change the script. Let's do this. Let's do that. I don't think that's gonna work. But yeah, I think Deadpool's gonna be great. Emily Blunt said some stuff about her being in Captain Marvel. Let's see. Well, the Toronto International Film Festival promoting her upcoming film.
I like Emily Blunt.
Yeah, I hope she's Captain Marvel.
Oh, so the Wolverine starts shooting early next year. So that doesn't say when, which means they can put it R. They can make it R.
Early next year could be like March. It doesn't matter.
Okay, but February is when the Deadpool movie comes out.
Let's see. It's crazy, she said. I've not had a phone call about it. Not one was for Captain Marvel.
Call her Marvel, please! And let her hair stay long and blonde.
Oh, you God, I hate that Captain Marvel design where she's got like the stupid mohawk.
I hate
that.
Crap. That looks so stupid, especially with how pretty Emily Blunt is. Don't you dare do that. She would blow every darn woman in the Marvel, well, maybe besides Natalie Portman, out of the water.
She's not. Natalie Portman isn't a hero.
I don't care. She's especially with how Scarlett Johansson's hair is. Oh my gosh. But I'm not looking at her for looks. I'm looking at her for acting. Her acting is terrible. But
Scarlett Johansson's not a bad actor.
Actress. I don't think she's a very good actress.
I think she's good. She just has that grinding voice.
Oh, her and Megan Fox. It's like, what happened to your voices? Like Emily Blunt. She is a very pretty woman and has a good voice. How come other actresses, like it's one or the other?
Scarlett doesn't talk. It's fine when she talks. At least they didn't try to make her have a terrible Russian accent. Dear God, that would have been terrible listening to her Russian accent. But yeah, I'm really hoping she's Captain Marvel. That's my pick for Captain Marvel. She'd be great. And another bit of news.
Hold up. Before we get off, while we're on Captain Marvel, if Marvel is smart at all, they will not put Ronda Rousey in consideration at all.
Oh, they won't. They won't. I know they won't.
I mean,
she'd be terrible.
Has anyone seen her act? I mean, you talk about nails on a chalkboard. She's terrible. It is so bad. And the worst part about it would be because she's a fighter. She'd go in there and she'd be acting so tough, and they'd probably make her the toughest of them all. Like, beat up Hulk. Could you imagine that? She beats up Hulk.
No, she's
a terrible actress. Absolutely terrible as an actress.
Okay, so moving on. Elizabeth Olsen confirmed that...
I like Elizabeth Olsen, too.
She confirmed that Baron Zemo is the main villain in Civil War.
Can we please have her as a look as she had at the end of Age of Ultron?
She said that, I don't know how to pronounce this dude's name, the guy that's playing Zemo. She said, Bro is an incredible actor and he's playing the main villain in it.
I don't really know much about him, you gotta tell me.
I don't know the actor at all.
I'm talking about the character.
Zemo, he's a cool Captain America villain. He's he's probably my second favorite Captain America villain. Behind Nuke. Or, I don't know if I like him or Red Skull better. It's hard to say.
You don't like Crossbones?
I like Crossbones, but at the end of the day, he's just an idiot that can fight well.
It just seems
And
like they're
still, he still got his
It feels
butt
like they feel like. It seems like they feel like they have too many. They didn't have enough heroes in it, so they're just trying to cram it full with bad guys.
Well, who other bad guys do you have?
You have Crossbones. They're talking about that Frodo, not Frodo. Bilbo is going to be like the main guy pushing for the agenda, so he's going to be bad by definition. He's going to be like a Robert Redford character. So that's at least 3 bad guys there. You know they're going to
Wait, he's going to be a bad guy? I
heard
thought we didn't know his character yet.
What I understand is he's going to be like the senator or whatever that pushes the whole act.
Okay.
So technically he's going to be bad.
I really hope they give him a good role because he's
a great
actor.
I mean, they ruined Robert Redford. Robert Redford was a great actor. His character was so plain vanilla. No matter how good you want to say the Russo brothers are, his character was so plain and vanilla and so painfully obvious
that he was a bad guy.
Yes, it was so bad.
Welcome back to the Marvel podcast, everyone.
as soon as that film,
we bashed DC for a little bit.
I was in the theater with my ex-girlfriend, and as soon as he came on the screen, I looked at her and I said, "He's the main bad guy." I didn't even hear him talk. I was like, "He's the main bad guy."
Well, it's so easy to tell.
I mean, for one, you don't get an actor like that and give him a tiny role unless you're George Lucas. You give Samuel L. Jackson a completely
tiny role,
benign role.
Oh, big words now.
Big words. But it's just I'm sorry, I gotta stop hating on Marvel.
Well,
she also said she was a wild card. You read that too, right?
Yeah. Elizabeth Olsen said, and he's incredible. It's a movie about people as opposed to robots this time. So it's darker and allowed to be darker because it gets more in the midst of humans rather than machines. We've been hearing about Marvel being darker forever. I hope it's true this time. It will be darker than Age of Ultron, I have no doubt, purely because of the fact that the Russo brothers are darker. They're not that much darker. It's like white and then a very like a little bit darker white.
Eggshell white.
Was that darker than normal white?
The one that they did a lot better, I like that they did the fight scenes a lot better.
Oh, the fight scenes are freaking amazing.
They were a lot better.
In Age of Ultron,
but the only issue I have with that was they haven't done any really people with powers yet. So like they gotta see how they're gonna do it because the hand-to-hand fight scenes. I mean, Cap is enhanced, but he's not like he's not like Superman. So we'll see that.
Yeah, because they basically copied the Bourne formula, which is great.
For me, Bourne is the best fight scene.
Oh yeah, Bourne has better fight scenes.
If you want to see how to do a fight scene hand-to-hand combat, go watch that.
Because those fight scenes are so awesome, they feel so natural, and they're great. And Captain
America, there's no music in it either.
Yeah.
It's just straight up the boom.
Nice drums. But the Captain America movies pretty much just copied that, and that was great. It was smart. Because Greengrass did an amazing job with those fight scenes.
Oh yeah, Paul Greengrass knows how to do that. He got in a little too much shaky cam for me at the end of it, but he's good. But imagine them doing a Marvel movie. Oh my goodness.
That's my thing with Marvel is I'm hoping they can get directors. Actually, this sort of like goes into our next subject. But first off, I'm really excited about Zemo being in this movie, and I think Civil War.
What's he do?
What? He's got stones, but besides that, he doesn't have powers. I'm not going to explain all that right now. But, anyways... No, the site crashed.
Welcome to the live
I got all the news up, and the Flash player crashed. Anyways, so our next thing is the fact that a lot of people have been talking about superhero movies dying, and one thing that I think that Marvel is helping contribute to the fact that superhero movies are dying is the fact that they're not getting, movie directors so much as they're getting directors that they can say, hey, make this movie for us, we've got it all planned out. And the directors that they do get, I feel like they constrain them a little too much, because everything, if you were to tell me one director directed every Marvel movie, I would believe you.
See, that's the issue I have, is a problem with these. That's why I'm scared about DC. The problem with this big shared universe, while it's cool, is it really handcuffs you. Like the comics don't really, because comics, so much is going on.
A million different writers, a million different artists, everything feels different.
Yeah, and even though there's some continuity, I mean, I don't think in comics you have that much continuity.
There's a ton of it. That's the problem.
No, because when you read Green Lantern, Green Lantern in his book, he's this really cool guy that beats the crap out. And then when you read him in Justice League, he's completely different. It's like, what happened? So
he's funny, but he gets the crap beat
out. And the movies, you can't do that. You can't just completely destroy a character in different movies. And the problem with the big issue with DC is going to be, where's Superman when the Earth is getting threatened in Central City or Coast City? Because Superman can be there in a second. It's not like Batman who doesn't have powers. And so you're going to run into all these continuity issues. You have to, and that's what Kevin Feige's all about. You got to have this, you got to have that. And it's like, well, that really limits your storytelling ability. Because it's like, well, I want to do this. And they're like, no, we want to use him for something else. It's like, well, then all I can use is this cookie cutter storyline that, is going to be used.
I think the way to go is to go and look at the comics and make good comic book movies.
Like
Instead of like Marvel, they've been doing this for a while. Like Age of Ultron had nothing to do with the Age of Ultron comic. That's not necessarily a bad thing because the comic wasn't exactly great. And the two main characters in that comic, Wolverine and Invisible Woman, are not owned by Disney Marvel, but still, that like Winter Soldier, it had the feel of Ed Brubaker's Winter Soldier, but the storyline was completely different. Still a good movie, but I think if they want to keep it alive, they need to base it more off the comics. Or, if not that, make good original movies and let their directors have a style to their movie. While still keeping true to the comics in terms of how the characters are.
I had something I want to say. What was I going to say?
For instance, Dark Knight feels way different than any other Batman movie because it's Chris Nolan's Dark Knight.
Yeah, but those films are different. Just have a completely.
That's what I'm saying. They're completely different because they let the director do what he wanted. I haven't read
those storylines. Apparently, they draw a lot on the comic books.
They do, but it's nothing like the comic books at the same time because they take a bunch of different elements and they bash them together, and then it makes it to where it's.
I thought he did the Scarecrow really cool.
Oh yeah, he did. But
I love the guys who played him. I love him in Dark Knight Rises.
I don't remember his name.
This is merely a sentencing hearing.
He's great as playing Scarecrow.
Colin Murphy, I think.
I don't remember his name. He's some British guy. He's on the Peaky Blinders. Sorry about that, we're back. We had to pause real quick. Anyways, basically what I think they need to do with superhero movies is do what Winter Soldier did, except don't take the name of the comic. Like, I like how Winter Soldier, they took the feeling of a comic and then they changed it to where it had the feel of the directors, but I don't like the fact that they took the name of Winter Soldier, the comic book, because I'm expecting to see that storyline, but instead we got something different. Like, it had the feel of Ed Brubaker's Winter Soldier, which I liked, but the storyline was not that, and that's what I want comic book movies to do. Like, Man of Steel takes in elements from, like, from Birthright, from Secret Origin, from Last Son, and it adds them up into a Zack Snyder stylized comic, except it didn't take up the name of any actual comic book. Superman Man of Steel was a series of comics by John Byrne. It wasn't trying to do that like Winter Soldier was, and that's what I want superhero movies to be. It had the style of Zack Snyder with a bunch of comics mashed up. I
don't like the way Zack Snyder shoots his day scenes. I hate it.
I liked it.
To me, there's a tent when he's in the daylight. When he's at night, you're right. I think he has like the coolest cinematography at night. But for some reason during the day, I don't like his shots. Like he doesn't know how to do good like. I don't know. For me, his shots.
You just don't like the lighting and all that?
Yeah, the lighting during the... Like,
I'm fine with it.
At night, it's perfect. Like, when it's dark or something, like, low light, it's good. But when it's like, it's supposed to be bright outside and stuff, it's this weird, like... I don't know, tent. It makes me I feel like in a dreamish world where it's not like real, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know about that.
To me, the X-Men have done the best job at keeping superhero movies alive. You look at X-Men 1 and you look at the newest X-Men, they are not the same. For me with Marvel, again, like I was saying, you could tell it seems like it's directed by the same exact guy every single time. If you were to tell me the same guy directed every Marvel movie, I would believe you besides Iron Man 1 and Incredible Hulk. Those have different feelings. To where, like, X-Men, you go from X-Men 1 to First Class, Days of Future Past, they all feel different while being in the same universe and they can fit, and then Deadpool's going to completely throw everything up, which is great. Like, it's going to be like, oh, this is so much different, but at the same time, I can see it taking place in the X-Men universe, and I think more superhero movies need to do that to keep that alive. Zack Snyder was saying, he sort of agrees with Spielberg, he was saying that, to keep the superhero movie genre from dying, we need to make better movies, and I'm like, yes, that's exactly what you need to do. Because Steven Spielberg said that superhero movies are going to go the way of the Western.
I kind of agree with him there.
I do too.
Because you can already see people are not superhero movies in general, but you can see because the Marvel movies aren't making as much money
because
now.
They're getting stale.
Because they're getting stale, like the Westerns. And so that's what's good about DC is darker.
DC is going to significantly help Marvel. I feel. And Marvel's going to significantly help DC.
I think it depends. I think if DC makes a great movie, yes. I think it's going to hurt Marvel because people are going to be like, well, this is serious and this is a lot better than that just happy-go-lucky. Now, if the DC movie stinks, then I think people are going to be like, oh, well, it was fun. It's a lot fun over time, with my kids when I go watch a Marvel movie.
No, I think it's going to help. If it's good, which I think it is going to, I think DC's going to help Marvel, Marvel's going to help DC, because people will be seeing DC movies, they're like, okay, I want something lighter. They go see Marvel movies, then they're going to be like, okay, I want something darker. And people are just going to go back and forth, and they're going to have variety, and I think that's great. I think DC coming into the field now is going to significantly help Marvel. If DC never came into the movie genre right now, then I think Marvel would die off really quickly, because there would be no balance. It would just be, you would just have these really lighthearted movies, but with DC, you have it in. Also, Fox is helping as well, but I think they're going to help each other, and that's what I think.
Fox does a great job with their Fox, I think, is really underrated with how everyone hates the Fantastic Four, and I never saw the movie, but from all accounts, it was terrible.
Kate Mara, the actress who played Invisible, and just said she never saw it because of how bad the reviews were.
Wow. But Fox does a really good job with their stuff. I mean, you can complain about X-Men 2, X-Men 3, and Wolverine, but I mean, look at Days of Future Past. I love that movie. I think that movie, when you talk about great superhero movies, I feel like that gets left out for some reason.
Days of Future Past?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, besides the Wolverine part, if I wasn't such a big Wolverine fan, the movie would be almost perfect for me, especially with how good... I only have two problems with that movie. That's how little they use Wolverine.
Too much and
too much Mystique.
Yeah, that was my problem.
But Magneto and Xavier are great. Those two.
Those two.
They make. I mean, I
present
love,
or past are great.
Yes, but for some reason I care a lot more about them in the younger actors because I just feel like they're like.
Because they're more in the center of it, to where in the modern day, like they're not doing a whole lot.
Yeah.
Like Magneto's taking.
Fox does a really good job with their movies, and Deadpool's just going to catapult them. Especially if they can find someone, I don't think they're ever going to be able to, but put Deadpool in an X-Men movie and not compromise his character. Oh my goodness, that'd be a home run. Especially if you could have I know Hugh Jackman's leaving, but a Wolverine Deadpool team movie. Can you imagine that Fox announcing, we're going to announce, I mean, you have Civil War, Batman vs. Superman, then can you imagine a Deadpool vs. Wolverine movie? How many people would be flocking to the theater to see that movie?
Especially if Deadpool is great, which I think it's going to be.
And the movie be rated R, so they can have all the jokes and all the gore and everything they wanted to have.
My gosh, Deadpool and Wolverine, if there's even like a 2-minute fight scene in the next Wolverine movie that features those two, even if they're not fighting against each other, if they're fighting together,
it'd just be awesome.
It would be freaking amazing.
I think that'd be cooler to see on screen than Batman and Superman. Just because of the fact that the reason I say that is because Batman is so, to me, Batman, I love Batman, but he's a lackluster character compared to Superman. He just can't hold his own. He just can't. And so Superman would just beat everybody. I mean,
I'm just waiting for all the hate
all
on
you people
calling Batman
Marvel.
a lackluster character.
He is. If you have 30 guys to
you
fight,
think you got hate before for bashing Marvel, now calling Batman a lackluster character.
It's like there's a video on YouTube. It's a cartoon. It's an animated video, and it's like Batman's there. The whole Justice League comes like, "What'd you do, Batman?" And Superman's like, "Oh, not Alien Invasion Tuesday," and just wipes them all out. And Batman's just like
it's a college humor video.
Yeah, college humor. And Batman's just sitting there like, because Batman couldn't have done nothing. It's just like, and Deadpool and Wolverine, they'd be much more balanced together. Although they're gonna make Batman like a god in this movie because they have to make him through Superman.
Like have a quote on a T-shirt: "Batman is a lackluster character." Ian 2015.
If someone wants to make that design, take that shirt. You know, I love Batman.
For a second, it's working back now. Yeah, Mike, the cord became.
Someone make me that T-shirt. Batman has a lackluster character.
Ian 2015.
He really is. If you think about it, he's a billionaire who doesn't really do anything. He gets little kids to come help him. He fights pretty lame characters besides the Joker, and the only reason the Joker is good because he's crazy and he just does stuff because, I mean, he's a Joker. I love the Joker. But Joker's a lackluster character if you have him go against Superman or Green Lantern or Wonder Woman.
I like Batman because he's the opposite of why everyone else likes him. Everyone else likes him because he's this relatable guy. I don't view him as that. I like him because he's a crazy person who fights crime. I think that's awesome. Like, Batman, I would not want to be friends with Batman at all. He might recruit me and I don't want to be doing that.
What substance is there to his character?
He's a billionaire who fights crime. That's awesome, but I don't relate to that at all.
What substance is that? What depth do you have there?
Because of the whole thing with his parents. The problem is the parents' dead thing has been going on for 75 years. And so that gets a bit repetitive, but his storylines are great. As far as, like, if you're going just the character himself, which is what you're talking about, you're right. I wouldn't say he's a lackluster character, but I like it because it's a crazy person who fights crime. I think that's awesome. But as far as, like, a good hero guy, He's fighting the fight. He's doing what's right, except for the fact that he doesn't realize that the justice system is corrupt, so he needs to kill the Joker, and the fact that I won't kill the Joker because if I do, it's too easy and I'll never stop. Have some self-control, Batman. You don't have to kill every single person.
You don't have to kill him.
He's so self-disciplined, but when it comes to killing someone, I can never stop.
He's not self-disciplined. Did you not read All-Star Batman and Robin?
I did. You didn't read it. He beats the living crap out of all those cops and everyone. And but that's different. That's a different universe. That's the All-Star universe.
One thing I don't understand is, why doesn't Batman just oh no, the Batmobile went haywire. I'm not driving it, but it's going straight towards the Joker.
Batman's not like that.
Not like that.
No, he just tries to crash motorcycle. I thought the scene was so stupid in Dark Knight. Hit me. You know what, Batman? Why don't you just put on the brakes, get off, and throw a batarang at his head? Instead, he's like, I gotta crash this motorcycle.
Well, that was because they had that whole plan with Gordon.
That was stupid. I thought that was stupid. But, so you think Batman's a lackluster character?
Compared to other characters, he's a very lackluster character, yes.
I like him.
I mean, it's cool to think of Batman. Oh, he's just God has all these guys. But really sit down and think about it.
To me, that's what makes his story so great, is because he's such an easy character to write. That's
Yeah,
why he's
he
got so
is.
many great characters. To where, like, Superman and Green Lantern as well, it takes a specific type of writer to write good stories for those characters.
Well,
Batman,
no,
you can
because
take
you
pretty
can't-
much
you
anyone.
can't just say-
Even an idiot like Frank Miller can write a good Batman story.
You can't just say, oh, Batman can look at those aliens and just blow them out of existence. No, Batman has to figure a way out to do it.
No, that's what people find interesting, and Superman can't do that either.
But see, I don't find it very interesting because it's like, no, because if those people were smart, they'd kill Batman. It's like, you make Batman so
You're
smart.
saying Batman's bringing villains down.
Yeah, because the Joker's the one you can't use that with because the Joker doesn't want to kill him.
Here's my thing. Like, you're right. Comic Historian brought this up before in the Weekly Poll podcast, which is something you don't listen to. But anyways, he was saying his problem with Batman is the inconsistency, which I agree. 1 second, he'll be up there fighting parademons on Apocalypse.
That's what I said.
The next second, he's having trouble finding out where Two-Face is. There's so much inconsistency.
That's why I don't like when you compromise a character. That's the problem with comics. I know there's like a billion different universes, but even in continuity and canon, like the Green Lantern things are perfect. You would not know that that's Hal Jordan in the Justice League book if you read his own book, and they're in canon together. It's just there's too much character compromising, and I don't like that. But like I said, Batman, Two-Face, you tell me he couldn't hit him one time in the face, not one time. Like it's just, especially with all those thugs, not one of them just. That's why I have a problem with Batman. He's cool and everything, but if you really sit down and think about it, you're like, darn, Batman would probably get killed like every single time he fought somebody.
Oh, if we're talking realistic, Batman can't exist ever, like at all, because he's unrealistic. But
I'm not talking about realistic. I'm talking about in his own universe with the people trying to get him. They would get him eventually.
well, no, because Batman's so great. Like Joker's the only. Like if you're talking about who could take him on,
that's gonna be the only
there
one
are
that can
people
take
like Wraith could take. Wraith is a guy who's a physical force for him, and you got like Deathstroke doesn't want to kill him.
It's compromising characters. They just all have these.
No, because that's not the way Deathstroke's character is. He doesn't want to kill Batman. That's the way, because Deathstroke's an anti-hero talking about Marv Wolf and Deathstroke.
What about Deadshot?
What? Deadshot, they made this weird thing with his character where he has a weakness when he comes to Batman, and he won't kill him, like they explained it in this comic.
See, that's so stupid.
They explained it, like, you can find the panels online, too. It's to where Deadshot's like, I have a weakness when it comes to Batman, I have trouble shooting him.
Bane?
Bane is like the worst when it comes to the syndrome of villain first shows up and they're awesome and the rest of the time they kind of suck. Like pretty much every villain has had that, but Bane has it the worst. First time he came out, devastating force, destroyed Batman. After that, Bane, he's this big guy Batman's gonna beat up.
What about Killer Croc?
Killer Croc's never been that great.
See, it's just. I'm going off. I'm looking at your wall right
You're
now.
going on a Batman tangent. Yeah, you're looking at
I know, this is like the Bash Batman thing. It's just.
But we really changed.
I just feel like everyone exalts Batman because he's this mere mortal that can't fight with the likes of Superman, but somehow he's able to because.
Well, that's the thing.
Characters.
No, he can't. Even in the comics, they say he can't. And the canon comics, and the non-canon comics, they go.
And the movies, I don't care how much Superman's holding back. Batman don't got a chance. I don't care.
Yeah,
not unless Superman ate and died of kryptonite
Batman v
for a
Superman,
week.
we will talk about when it comes to that. When the movie's about to come out, we'll talk about that.
All I gotta say is the only way Batman could be Superman is Superman ate kryptonite for a week straight and lived in a cave. That's the only way he could compete with him.
But I like Batman bottom line because he's a crazy person who fights crime, and I think that's really cool. Because Batman is not a normal person. You see the strict diet he goes on, like the fact that he goes for without sleep, and he's going purely to fight this crime. Like I think it was the Superman Batman comics. I talked about this on my channel before. It was issues like 53 through 56 or something. It's where Batman and Superman reverse to where Batman has Superman's powers. Now Batman goes absolutely crazy because he tries to stop all crime across the world, and he's just like, I'm gonna stay ahead of the sunlight so that way I can get the criminals that are in the dark, sort of like he does in Gotham. He tries to stop crime all across the world. It drives him crazy. Like, he almost kills Bane. He injures Nightwing severely. Same with Catwoman, almost kills her too. He goes absolutely nuts, and then he beats the crap out of the Justice League, and the only person who's able to stop him is Superman's able to outsmart him and trick him to get his powers back. And it showed how crazy Batman is. Like, it shows, if Batman had the power of Superman, you see how crazy this guy can go.
Issue I had. They make Superman the biggest dummy.
No, he's not. In that comic, he wasn't a dummy.
No, that's because he didn't have his powers. Superman has his powers.
No, he's not. In the media, he is.
Media, okay.
Yes, Batman the Animated Series, Bruce Timm, I hate Bruce Timm when it comes to Superman. Bruce Timm, like, he's talked about before. I remember seeing this interview in the Batman Superman movie. He's talking about how he doesn't like Superman and stuff. I was like, why do you let this guy be anywhere near Superman? He's an idiot. See, keep him to Batman. Bruce Timm's an idiot when it comes to Superman.
That's my problem. I'm just scared. I trust
I trust Zack Snyder because he already did an amazing job with Man of Steel.
I don't trust anyone with a Superman when Batman's involved, because I just feel like they're gonna take Superman and they're gonna say, well, Superman's not very smart, because even in the Justice League comics, we talked about this before. We read Jeff Johns' run on the Justice League. All these people were talking, and then Batman had nothing else to do, so he had to be the brains. He had to tell him what plans to do and stuff. And it was like not one other person could came up with that. You have Hal Jordan, Barry Allen, Diana, Superman, Martian Manhunter, Cyborg. Not one other person.
Martian Manhunter wasn't part of it then.
Oh well, Cyborg and Batman.
You had Aquaman.
Aquaman. He's a king. Not one of these.
You have to think, like, Diana's I don't know.
She's a warrior princess.
She's God of War in the New 52. I don't know if she's still.
Not one of them could think of a plan to take them down.
A good amount of
Batman had to. And it reminded me of the scene in the first Avengers where Captain America is really not doing nothing besides fighting aliens on the ground. They're like, shout out, Captain. Like, they had to make you feel good about Captain America.
Captain America in the first Avengers, they screwed up so bad.
Yeah, because he didn't do anything. Like,
he had a terrible suit. They screwed up his character, like, in the fact that he didn't do anything.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I meant. Like, it felt like, remember that circle where it was like, shout out, Captain, because he couldn't go up and fight him up in the air, and it was just like, that's lame. Like, no, like,
they made Captain America so lame in the movie.
Like, Iron Man couldn't have thought to, oh, let's go stop him and you shoot them, and Hulk, you stop. Like, no one else thought of that.
Because that's the thing, though. Because Joss Whedon, at first in that movie, Captain America was cool when he went down with Iron Man and Thor, because it's these gods, and then you have this American on steroids that's fighting. That's basically a super steroid. It's like, that's cool. And then later on, it's like, well, you know, Captain America's the leader, and he hasn't done anything, so why don't we just have him tell him what to do? It's like, you can make Captain America cool without doing that.
Well, that's what they were trying to show him, that he's a leader, but that's how I feel
they did a bad way of showing it.
Yeah, but I feel like that's how...
Like, Captain America should be the leader,
that's how
but they did a bad way
that's how Batman is in the comics. I'm feeling that's how he's going to be in these movies. He's going to be the one that's going to be like Superman or Wonder Woman or Flash could be like, we should do this, and Batman's going to be like, no, that's stupid, we have to do this.
Yeah, don't listen to Wonder Woman, who in the New 52 is the God of War,
nope,
and it's like Batman. She knows all these strategies from being on the Themyscira. Aquaman, who's a freaking king, and so he knows a lot of commands and stuff to do. And Superman, who's got a great intellect, but Batman, yeah, you're right about that. They do like to do that,
and that's
because the writers think, well, you got all these powerful people, well, Batman.
You gotta justify Batman being there.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, it'd be like taking it'd be like this. It'd be like playing a basketball game, and 4 of you are 26-year-olds, well in shape men.
6'5",
and then you have a 14-year-old who's like 5'4". He's in good shape, but he can't compete with you, and you're like, well, what should we do? And it'd be like, what?
Hey guys.
No, you don't ask him. Like, you guys are the ones that know how to do everything and are the ones that have been through more than this guy.
I get your point. When it comes to team books, Batman generally, except like Superman, Batman, Public Enemies, Batman and Superman are great in that. Like, they write their relationship there. They still dumb Superman down a bit,
they do,
which I didn't care for. But besides that, because like when Captain Atom carried, Superman's like, no, I'm gonna fly their ship. It's stupid. But besides that book, like Jeff Loeb did a great job at writing Superman and Batman's relationship. But yeah, in the Justice League book, you're right. Like Grant Morrison did it. Of course, Grant Morrison's Batman is God. He's God. That's like there's practically no way to beat him. Only Joker can beat Grant Morrison's Batman. It's insane. Like these white Martians came down and they all mimicked everyone's powers, and so everyone got captured except for Batman. Batman came in and saved the day.
See, that's BS.
They sort of redid it in the Justice League first episode of Justice League,
that's
and
BS.
it was stupid how they did it. Like, but Batman comes back, and they're like, oh, Batman's a useless because he doesn't have power, but then he saves everyone. It's stupid. Because Grant Morrison's Batman is God. If you read Grant Morrison's Batman, it's insane how good this guy is. Like, Grant Morrison makes good stories, but the character of Batman, I hate Grant Morrison's Batman, but the stories around him are good. But the character of Batman himself, the way Grant Morrison's writing him, is bad. Because he's unstoppable. You guys think Superman's overpowered? Read a Grant Morrison Batman book. Batman's so OP. It's ridiculous. But bottom line, for me, Batman is this crazy guy that does these inhuman things that fights crime, and I think that's really cool. And that's why I love Batman, because you got this guy.
Batman podcast.
Yeah, it has. We could do a whole episode of Batman. But you got this guy.
I'm waiting for all the hate on my Twitter page.
Well, no one cares. No.
And I love Batman. I do love him.
Yeah, you gotta point that out now. I was saying he was a lackluster character.
I do love him, but if you really look at him, I mean.
But anyway, like, he's a guy who his parents died, so he turned absolute bat crap crazy and decided to go. Anyone else whose parents died and they got billions of dollars would not go and say, hey, I'm gonna go and train across the world and fight crime. And then he sits there in his father's study and he sees that bat go on his father's head, and so he decides to be a bat and fight crime, dress up. He's absolutely nuts, and I think that's awesome. That's why I like Batman.
You know what's funny? Batman's not even the coolest character. It's not even the most interesting character in his own house. Alfred is way more of an interesting character. Alfred,
Dick Grayson's the way.
No, I'd say Alfred, because Alfred was what? It
was like in some. He was like right? No, he's like MI5 or MI6 or something like that.
He was MI6. He becomes a butler for God knows what reason. He was
an actor, too.
For what reason to the Waynes, right?
Because, and it depends which iterations you're on. Sometimes he owns, like, Thomas Wayne dead. Other times, it's like a bunch
Regardless, of okay, he's doing that. And then he raises this kid, right? Because he feels
this completely crazy psycho nuts kid.
And then he supports him with his mission, and he helps him out, all while trying to take care of him.
And also, at the same time, he's doing everything the Wayne stuff. He's making so much BS excuses for Bruce Wayne. He's banging
and
himself
Alfred
Polish
can
thing.
kick the crap out of anybody. If you read Jeff Johns, I did read that book. What was it? The Earth One?
Earth One?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alfred's awesome in that book.
Poor Alfred. Batman trips his cane, like smacks him straight on the ground. I was like, what? Don't do a cheap shot, because Alfred's teaching a lesson. He's like, you've never fought in a war. Fighting in a war of crime is way different than fighting a war on the battlefield. And he's teaching him, like, you've never been in a war. And instead of actually, like, hand-to-hand and beating him fairly, he knocks his cane out. I was like, dude, Bruce, don't do that. That's just mean.
But, I mean, everyone just, I don't know, Batman is just...
I love Batman, but people are mad when I did my top 10 list and I had Batman, I had Hawkeye before Batman. I liked Hawkeye better. People are like, why should I? That's because I think Hawkeye's a more interesting character. I love Batman, but I like Hawkeye better.
If I wrote a Batman storyline...
Batman has some of the best storyline in all of the comics, but to me, as in the character himself, he's not the best character. But that's just my opinion.
I'd have a really boring storyline. It'd be like a 3-comic issue in Batman.
But you'd have Joker like shoot him in the head or something, or Bane coming like
someone else would kill him. I mean, he's really easy to kill. like Endgame, Batman Endgame, or Death of the Family. He could. Why wasn't he? Because he's too prideful. But he could be like, "Hey, Soups, I need help. The whole Bat family's been captured."
That is like that's been explained in the comics before. In Gotham, Gotham is Batman's cities, and he doesn't want outside help unless he calls for it.
Yeah, but if your whole family was captured, don't you?
Batman doesn't care.
I just told you he's too prideful.
Yeah, that's the way he is. I'd rather have my whole family's face cut off than call help Superman.
Superman and Batman are supposed to be like good friends / enemies, right? Like they're supposed to be like
what? Oh, they're
uneasy friendship, right?
No, not in the Pre-New 52. They're best friends. New
Right.
52.
So
I don't
if you
even
saw your
know,
best friend
so
was
weird.
going through a bad time and his whole family was captured, you're like, darn, something bad could happen.
He doesn't know. Superman's busy doing his stuff, and Batman doesn't tell him this.
I'm pretty sure Superman. Well, they're sister cities, like in the.
No, they're not. No, that's only in the movie.
I don't know. I find that hard to believe.
Anyways, moving on. We got some questions.
Could you maybe talk about? No, I don't want to talk about it. New 52 is new.
What? No, he said, could you maybe talk about what Zack Snyder said about Ant-Man on Nerd Talk? Okay, so he just said that Ant-Man's flavor of the week, and he said that we can't do that if we want to keep superhero movies alive. We got to make better movies. I completely agree with that. If you keep making Ant-Man movies like Marvel's been doing for the past however long, you're not going to keep superhero movies alive.
Like, you can't do that with Superman and Batman. They're like icons.
Oh yeah, he's right, because that's the thing with Marvel. They had to explain their heroes. You can throw Superman and Batman off the screen. You don't have to.
Yeah, but besides that, I feel like one of them needs to be explained because
no one knows her origin. People know who Wonder Woman is.
I know who she is, but you gotta explain her origin a little better.
Yeah, you do.
Like, was she made of clay, or was she a daughter? Or, and like Flash,
well, there's the two. She's a daughter.
Flash, that's more well known because I think more people sort of know his origin because of the show now. I think it's gonna be cool whenever we get a Green Arrow movie, regardless of who it is. I really don't want Stephen Amell's Green Arrow.
I want Garrett Hedlund in the movie. He's the guy from Tron.
I thought you were talking about Sons of Anarchy.
No, I don't want that guy. Like, everyone says he's a perfect casting, looks like him, but I don't want him. I want Garrett Hedlund from Tron Legacy. He'd be great.
The problem with DC heroes is they're so much more powerful, really, than Marvel characters.
But that works fine because everyone's more powerful.
Because then, like, how do you have like?
And it depends if you're getting into entities and all that. But if you're talking
how do you have
base Justice League and base Avengers? Yes, Justice League's more powerful.
How do you have just a citywide threat that like Superman's not going to be helping out with?
What? Because Batman doesn't want to call.
Because really, in my opinion, Hal Jordan is the second most powerful character in the DC universe, not counting entities.
Yeah.
Because he wields the most powerful weapons.
Pre-New 52, not New 52. Pre-New 52, yes, he was.
So he's almost on level of Superman, and yet, how are you going to say there's a threat that no one, like...
Yeah, it's single issues. That's easy with Green Lantern, space threat, boom.
Yeah, him.
But with other characters...
Let's say Superman. Because that's Hal's sector, right? There's just like a citywide threat.
Hal doesn't help out with a lot of stuff in his sector. There's stuff that happens all the time.
No, at first he did in the comics, and then he got banished from his sector because he was on Earth too much, and they said he wasn't paying attention to the rest of his planets. So
stupid Hal.
So, but that's what I'm saying. Let's say something happens in Superman on Earth, right? Superman. I mean, depending on how much they dumb him down in the movie, could take on, like we saw it. Superman didn't need anybody's help to take on Zod.
But they would help with damage
control. God, don't even start me on that.
They would help with damage control, and that's lame though. Like, I don't want to see, hey, Superman's taking on the main threat, but everyone else is.
That was like my most hated part.
They're holding buildings.
That was my most hated part of Age of Ultron. Was
all the fact that
when Hulk and Iron Man are fighting, right? Iron Man the whole time like, how do I not get civilians hurt? No, you should be scared to death. The Hulk is gonna rip your damn head off and kill you.
I agree with that. I can understand him wanting to help civilians and worry about them, but the thing is, he shouldn't be able to be in control of that. Like, Hulk's this rampaging monster, but apparently not. He's this guy that can be contained very easily. Iron Man contained him, like, without a problem. He had a problem with an elevator, and that was it. Like, he had no problem containing him. Anyways, our next question is from Danny, superhero expert.
Is this a kid that asked me about Hawk Girl in the stream?
Yes, this is the guy that asked you about that. Anyways, he asked, can you also say your thoughts on the Hawkman and Hawkgirl costumes on Nerd Talk? So, these are the CW costumes.
I do not mind the helmets. I think the helmets are actually decent. I'm not going to say they're like movie quality, but they're decent.
I don't like
the rest is cosplay.
I don't like the leather.
I feel like the CW doesn't know how to do. They just feel like
Thanagarians would never wear this.
I feel Thanagarians.
That's who they are.
I forgot that's how you pronounced it. I feel like the CW is like, let's just leather everybody up. Let's put them as tight as clothes as we can because we don't have to make a costume.
I feel like they would be different. Out of everyone else that's wearing leather, fine, that makes sense, whatever. I feel like Thanagarians would. The costume looks alright.
I guess they don't want to go with Hot Girl's normal costume.
But like, I would just say it looks alright.
I'm just sick of the leather. All they have is leather.
Yeah, I wish it wasn't leather, but overall, it's fine. I don't really care.
Like, even Batman's costume in the movie's not leather.
Yeah, because it shouldn't be.
Yeah, but like the CW doesn't know how to make a costume without leather.
Yeah, true. Okay, next up, same guy asked a question. Can you talk about the order of Star Wars movies a new person, me, should watch? Thanks, keep up the good work. Well, thank you for the comment. And 4 through 6 first, because if you start with 1 through 3, you will not want to continue.
No, this is what you'll say the whole time. You'll be like, this kid Darth Vader? No,
because he won't have watched the movies. But it'll be like why do people love this so much? Why start with 4 through 6? That's why we watched them.
All right, here's what you gotta do. I don't know how old you are, kid, but if you're over 18, if you're over 21, you're probably not. Okay, I don't know how old you are, but Danny, you watch 4 through 6, right? You're gonna love 4 through 6. You're gonna be like, this is awesome, and then you get if you're underage.
Don't tell me to get drunk and watch the movie.
If you're underage,
hey, you can't do that.
Eat a lot. Like, eat a lot while you're watching the movie so you fall asleep and you don't realize how bad it is.
So he has to be 21 to eat a lot?
No, if you're underage, eat a lot. And watch 1 and 2, and then 3 stay awake for, but 1 and 2 you're going to be like, it's going to make you not want to watch Star Wars.
Here's how to explain episode 1. Lightsaber battles and a lot of boring crap happens in between. That's what it is. It's cool lightsaber battles with a lot of boring crap that happens in between. Episode 2 is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
I don't know, I think episode 1's pretty good.
Episode 1's bad, but it's not episode 2 bad. It's not.
If it's not, it's right behind it. Like, it's on its heels.
It's because at least you have cool lightsaber fights. You don't even have cool lightsaber fights in episode 2.
But you got Maul and Obi-Wan.
Yeah, so he's got that sweet mullet, dude. It's awesome. But think, episode 2, what's the only cool scene? Obi-Wan versus Jango Fett. That is it. Because that's a cool fight on Kamino. No, and then when they fly up, the sound's awesome.
I sort of like the fight in the arena. I think that's pretty cool. Not the acting. Like, when all the Jedis come, I think that's pretty cool at first.
At first, like all of these Jedi's, and then it's kind of lame.
When the clones come, it's kind of stupid. But
and then the Yoda fight is just the most silly, horrendous thing I've ever seen.
How about Mace Windu not killing?
Oh yeah, he has that lightsaber.
He can kill all of them.
Like, he has that lightsaber up to Jango's head, and then he's just like, "I'm not gonna kill it."
The one thing
It was
they
so
should
cool
do
at
is-
first, and then he didn't do anything. And the way Django dies is so stupid.
Especially with the stupid little, like, the stupid beast or whatever.
Yeah.
I hate those things. So that darn little tiger-type creature just missed. Just missed.
Episode 1, again, it's cool lightsaber battles with a lot of boring crap in between. Episode 2 is a romance movie, which belongs nowhere in a Star Wars movie. It is terrible. Episode 3 is a decent movie.
He knew how to do Han and Leia where their romance was good.
Oh, it's great.
He had no idea how to do an actual, like, where both people sort of like each other. He had no idea.
They both loved each other in the originals, but they didn't want to admit it.
Well, she didn't want to admit.
Because they're too prideful. Well, she was. He was fine with it. Their relationship is like the.
I mean,
the
what really
best.
messes that up is when you watch episode 1, you see that Anakin's about 12, and you watch episode 2.
He's
and
10 years
Anakin's
old in episode 1.
Anakin's like 20. And it's like, well, he was what?
Yeah, and Obi-Wan, all he did was get a mullet. He like aged like maybe 5
Like
years.
all the people you thought would like each other, you thought Obi-Wan and Padme would be all over each other, and then it's Anakin and Padme.
Then you got the whole
I'm
weird.
still saying in episode 3, Obi-Wan slept with Padme, and those are his kids.
Ba-da-da-ya-ya-ya-ya-ya.
That's why he said Vader murdered his father, because he murdered him.
So Vader's not Anakin, is what you're saying?
No, Vader is Anakin, but Obi-Wan slept with Padme, and those are his kids.
Yeah.
But she didn't want Anakin to know. That's why she named him Skywalker. So when Obi-Wan tells Luke, Vader betrayed and murdered your father, he really did because he betrayed Obi-Wan. He murders him in episode 4.
But he. Oh, so
New
you're
theory!
predicting the future?
New theory! I got it! New fan theory! Obi-Wan is the father of Princess Leia.
But anyways, watch 4 through 6 first, because if you watch 1 through 3, you won't want to continue, and I won't blame you.
If you can get through 1 through 3, let us know what you thought.
You can
about
get through it after 4 through 6 because you'll want to. I think you will.
Yeah,
I think you'll be bored to death.
You'll
but you'll
watch
be like,
episode-
okay, I have to because I watched the
You'll
originals.
watch
They're so
episode
great.
1 and you'll be like, okay, nothing can be as that bad. And then you watch episode 2 and you'll be like,
It's
what?
worse.
You'll be like, I have no expectations for the third movie. And the third movie's alright.
Yeah, the third movie's like good, I would say, because you gotta think if you're putting on a normal
Decent.
scale. I would say if you're putting on
Decent.
yes, but if you're putting on a normal scale, I would give it a 7. I would say it's good because you gotta think Star Wars scale is unfair because the 4 through 6 are all amazing.
It's decent.
If you put I would say on a Star
But
Wars
compared
scale,
to 1 to
it's decent.
3, it is
amazing.
It blows it out. It's not in the same category. That's
Because-
because Anakin got a little better as an actor.
Yeah, he got a bit better.
Natalie Portman was still absolute garbage.
I have no idea how she transformed.
I don't either.
But-
someone got with her. Hayden Christensen, he's the one I thought improved most out of those two, and he hasn't been in anything.
He's not a good actor.
He's not, but he did better in episode 3 than he did in episode 2. You go ahead. I'm not good. I could be here all day hating on these.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. But anyway, yeah, I did 3 Battlefront Sundays on those. You should watch those.
I did.
They're
I already
great.
watched
So,
them.
not talking to you.
Who wants to watch me play Arkham Knight again?
No one.
Tell me
Actually, that one guy, Andrew Loss, on stream.
Bro,
he asked-
you are the man.
I don't know if he's listening to this. Probably not. No, hardly anyone gets through the first 50 minutes. We're 52 minutes in. Anyways, we're gonna end the podcast here. Thank you guys for listening, and yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one.
Peace out.
Goodbye.